now my broth is boiling. So I put some of the Bragg's liquid aminos in here. I put some of the fish sauce in here. Put a little bit here, a little bit there. As you see, there's a lot. Usually when you have pancit, the noodles are very inexpensive. So what they do is they use a lot of noodles and probably 1/4 of this or 1/2. Me, on the other hand, my family like to eat healthy. So what I do is I put a lot of vegetables. We are fiber freaks and we love to eat lots of vegetables. This isn't really so smart because I know somewhat has some kind of MSG in it. I'm using this for you folks. Usually I would just add this liquid aminos for myself. But because I'm cooking this for my niece Anissa and for my beautiful niece also Margot, pretty Anissa and pretty Margot are going to love this. So here's, what's this, about 2 teaspoons? There you go. Just enough to give it more flavor. So this is the chicken bouillon. Now that it's boiling, let's put our noodles in. There you go. Probably a pinch or 2. Again, I really don't measure, so it's hard for me to say. Like, the cabbage was half of the head of the medium-sized cabbage. The carrot was 1 whole medium-sized, or I would say more on the large-sized carrot. I had about 10 green beans, 10 to 15 green beans like this, and the flat peas about 15. I cut them in half, and the green beans I sliced sideways. That was it. And again, 2 large chicken thighs. So as you see, this is still, I tasted it, and it is very delicious. This alone will fly with some brown rice. Whatever you want to do, you can even stuff a whole wheat burrito with this, or you can put it inside of a lumpia wrapper and fry it. Good. Okay, so now we have the noodles really boiling now. Rice noodles are made out of rice and sometimes cornstarch. This is different from the glass noodles. The glass noodles are usually made out of mung bean flour. This is just rice noodles. So now we have it to a boiling boil. To a rolling boil, what you want to do is lower your fire. So you saw from start to finish, from starting to boil to now, the noodles are basically, if you look at them, they're basically cooked all the way through. Everything together. Wow, this really looks good. I know pancit and lumpia is one of the most popular foods that other nationalities know about the Filipino food. It's something that is usually cooked during birthdays or fiestas. The noodles stand for long life, so sometimes they'll leave a handful of noodles very long. Instead of cutting it, they'll just put the noodles, a handful, on a side dish, and when they cut all the noodles, once they cook it, they'll include the long noodle that they left out earlier to make sure that the person who is celebrating has a long life. It's like a superstitious belief. Sometimes I do it just out of fun. My grandmother taught me that. Bless her soul. She was such a wonderful woman. She taught me everything I know when it comes to cooking. Okay, we're almost done. We're just gonna see that soup right there. You just want to dry that up. Make sure that your noodles are all the way cooked through. This dries up really fast. Give it a couple minutes. Okay, it's pretty much drying up real fast, so now I'm going to turn the heat off. This smells so good, folks. I wish you were here. So here you go. This is the finished product. Now I have green onions. I took a couple of leaves, I sliced it with a pair of scissors. Sprinkle it on for garnish. Makes it smell better, tastes better. Now you have sliced lemons. You usually eat this with sliced lemons. You pour fish sauce on it for added sodium if you want a little bit more salty. It's supposed to be salty and sour. You don't have to use Bragg's chicken broth. You can use plain fish sauce. It's up to you how you want to deal with your sodium. So that's it. You just usually serve it with tongs and dig in. Have a great time, folks.